From KVOA4 Tucson, this is Eyewitness News 4 One-on-One with Sandy Rathbun.
Hello and thank you for joining me this morning. I'm Sandy Rathbun. Well, it may not feel like it, but it's almost election time in the city of Tucson. This fall, Tucson residents are going to elect a mayor and 3 city council members. One of the council races will be decided during the primary election coming up in September. That's in Northeast Ward 2. 2 Democrats are running in that contest. They're both joining us this morning to talk about the issues. Carol West is the Ward 2 incumbent, and Leanda Ludwig is the Ward 2 challenger. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Carol, let's start with you. Why do you deserve to be reelected?
Well, I think we are living in some extraordinary times, Sandy, and I think I have proven that I can provide services to my ward especially, and also to look at the entire community. We need more parks on the east side. I have seen that we have more. We have some transportation issues, and even in this tight time, I found some federal funds for some streets. We need to make sure, though, that we have better transit services. We have some environmental contamination in Ward 2, and we're cleaning that up. I want to see those things through, so I'm planning to run. Running for this term because I want to see continuity. I want to continue these efforts to make Ward 2 an even better place to live.
Leanda, why should voters vote for you?
Well, actually, Sandy, voters came to me and asked me to run because they said that they wanted a real Democrat to run for this position. They don't feel that their agenda has been put forward through the city council. They feel that the programs for people have been cut. The KidCo, the program that provides after-school service, a wonderful program for children, has been cut to the bone, and so many families have not been able to use it anymore, and it makes a real hardship for people. Similarly with other programs, the libraries, the parks and recreation, the swimming program is gone. The library, I said that already, Job Path, which was one of the most successful job training programs, cut 82%. And people said to me, we want somebody who's going to make these the priority issues, and asked me to run.
A little bit on your background.
Well, I wear a lot of different hats, figuratively and literally. I have my master's degree in guidance and counseling, and I was a guidance counselor both in New York and here. I've had a business for over 20 years, a successful business, and right now I have a web business as well, and I'm an artist. I'm also a stress reduction counselor, just in case you need that.
Carol, a little on your background.
Well, I started out as a teacher, and since living in Tucson, I have worked with water issues, and I also was a Ward 2 council aide, where I got to know many of the constituents in Ward 2 very well, and because I was tending to their needs for services. And of course, I also believe very strongly in community service. I've been involved in many activities in the community, and one was a United Way Service Committee where we awarded funds to social service agencies. So
one of the reasons I invited you guys to come this morning is so viewers have an opportunity to compare and contrast the two of you when it comes to issues. So I want to turn my original question around a little bit. I asked why people should vote for you. Give me one good reason why people should not vote for your opponent. Carol?
Well, I think that I have the experience and also have begun to work on many of these issues. And again, I think it's a matter of continuity and being able to get the job done. I've proven I can do that.
Leanda, give me a good reason, or our viewers a good reason, why they should not vote for Carol West.
Well, again, I am running as a real Democratic candidate, having been asked by real Democrats who want that agenda. And in fact, if you notice, this is a winner-take-all primary, and the Republicans chose not to run anyone against Mrs. West. And in fact, they're funding her campaign almost 50% by Republican and non-Democratic voters. So for Democrats who are voting, if they want a Democratic representation on the city council, they should take that into consideration.
I want to follow up on that. You have a flyer that you have sent out calling Carol West really a Republican, even though she's a registered Democrat and was elected as a Democrat. Explain that.
I didn't say Republican. I said Republicrat, which is a combination of Republican and Democrat. And essentially, I think it's a term that works on both sides. It's when a crossover vote, when you're in a particular party and your vote becomes the swing vote for the other party. It's confusing if you say that you're a Democrat and you hold to the values of the Democratic Party people agenda. I know that Carol's doing the best job that she can, but I feel that my priorities will be for people-oriented services first. Trickle up.
I want to give you an opportunity to respond. You a Democrat or a Republicrat?
Well, I think my record proves that I'm a Democrat. After all, if it weren't for me, we wouldn't have the Blue Barrel recycling program. That was one of the things. We wouldn't have the impact fee for the water system equity charge. And there also was a neighborhood preservation ordinance. And incidentally, in all three of these cases, I had to build a coalition of 3 Republicans to get what I think is a Democratic agenda with the environment done. And so one of the things that I have done is to work with both groups. I see that as important in getting work done. You have to coalesce with others so that you can get things done. And that's been my record.
Let's talk about transportation. I think if you ask a lot of people out there what their #1 peeve is, transportation. What specifically, Leanda, would you do to get us moving?
Well, I walked with the petition for the Citizens Initiative, and I believe very much in the plan that the group has come up with, because it's a comprehensive plan. It includes increased bus service, better roads, better bike paths, and a portion of it goes to light rail. And I have ridden on light rail, and I've seen the effect of having light rail in Dallas. All along the light rail, businesses sprung up, real estate values jumped, and it revitalized their downtown. But that's only 22% of the plan. The rest of the plan is going to take care right away of the needs that we have for improved bus services and streets.
And by streets, you're talking about the light rail initiative, specifically is neighborhood streets, correct?
Yes.
Carol, what do you propose to do to get us moving in this town?
Well, I think Leanda's right. I don't disagree with her, but I think the neighborhood streets and transit certainly must be taken care of first. But I'd like to see the PAG plan looked at and taken very seriously, because I think there's a need for a regional transportation plan. And particularly, we need to find better ways for our seniors to move around the community. And that's something that I've been interested in for some time, and there just haven't been the dollars to take care of that. But I see a taxi service, things like that included too for seniors and disabled people.
If light rail makes it on the ballot, and this is the Citizens Initiative, we are taping this show a couple of weeks before it airs, so we still don't know if they have enough signatures to put it on the ballot, if the council's going to put it on the ballot, or what's going to happen. If it's on the ballot, will you vote for it?
Yes, yes I will. And in fact, I will vote to put it on the ballot.
Okay, let's talk about the PAG plan. Pima Association of Governments, which is the city, the county, South Tucson, Oro Valley, Marana, etc., are all working together to put together a regional transportation plan. And one of the first things they did was go out to the community and say, what do you want to see most in terms of transportation? And what do you think we ought to do to get there? Well, most people said better crosstown movement, and many said a crosstown freeway. Would you support a crosstown freeway?
I would if we could find a place to put it. I don't know where we would put it. When people ask me about that, That's one of the things I say. Where would we put it? I think instead we might have to consider Houghton, Valencia, Keno, and River as a loop road around the city and improve that in some way.
Leanda, Crosstown Freeway?
I think that when, and I'm going to use when, the Citizens Initiative is approved and we start working on improving the bus systems and the streets, I think that it won't be foremost in people's minds to want a freeway. It's going to take a while, and it certainly is. It will take much less time to do these improvements than the disruption of closing businesses and moving people to find a place to put a crosstown freeway. Unfortunately, we waited too long. We didn't have the leadership back when it should have taken place to put that in.
In your campaign literature, you say something has got to be done on the east side about Houghton Road. What?
Well, the PAG, they're looking at what plans they can put in there. I have spoken with the people who are working on the plan and have viewed some of the ideas. Personally, I would like to see a wider road left available for the point when it would be ready to be built, rather than not leaving enough space and then doing this backpedaling thing that we're doing right now in the rest of the city, saying we didn't have enough space to have a green space and a bike path and a light rail and for roads. So I would have liked to see more space left available.
Carol, what about Houghton Road?
Well, one of the reasons that we have insisted upon doing the planning, the HAMP, the Houghton Area Master Plan, is just for that very reason, because I think in the past we've let things happen and then worried about widening a street, and that simply is not the way to do it.
Devil's advocate. I mean, we can sit here and talk about all the things we want to do. The reality is that the Pima Association of Governments region-wide barely has enough money in its pockets to maintain what we currently have. I mean, that isn't money to build anything new. It's to barely keep up what we've got. So how do we raise more money for transportation?
Well, I think we need a presence in Washington. Our governor has talked about having a presence in Washington. I think that's one way. I think we pay back bonds when the interest rate is lower. That would be another way to go. I think even looking at work schedules and making sure that people's work hours are staggered in a more strategic way than we've done would help. There are federal grants available, and in fact I know that because I just got one of them for Harrison Road, and I think we have to watch for that kind of thing. And I think citizens are going to have to pay with the impact fees in new areas, and we are probably going to have to ask for the gasoline tax to be raised, but that's one of those that goes to the legislature and probably won't happen in our lifetime because, you know, it takes a 2/3 vote for that to happen, and that's going to be an uphill battle.
It's a huge question, actually. But I would start with saying that we need a presence in Washington in terms of a president that makes his priority or her priority having monies available for the states and the cities. That is the first thing that citizens have to look into. And of course, that's not a local issue, but it's something that citizens will have the opportunity to vote on. I think we've seen through the Citizens Initiative that we've had so many people who have signed, who have said that they are willing to take a slight increase in the sales tax in order to cover the things that are their priorities. But I would like to see the government being more responsible in that regard. And I think we have to have very strong leaders right now to put the brakes on development where it doesn't belong, so that we're not going to be following them, that we're going to be the leaders rather than following the developers who are saying, well, we're going in here and we're going to do this. We should be working together.